Happy Halloween, viewers, and good morning. Welcome to ST Money's Morning News, your weekday business news channel. It is Thursday morning, October 31, 2024, and I'm your host, Sunil Thakker of Sunny Talks Money. Let's roll. The Nasdaq Composite pulled back from Tuesday's record high following mixed results in the latest corporate earnings report. A rout in chipmakers dragged down stocks, with traders also shifting through corporate results and economic data. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 91 points, or 0.22% to 42,141. The S&P 500 fell 19 points, or 0.33% to 5,813. And the Nasdaq Composite fell 104 points, or 0.56% to 18,607. A $300 billion exchange-traded fund tracking the Nasdaq 100, QQQ, extended losses after the close of regular trading as Meta's spending guidance failed to enthuse investors. Equities struggled to gain traction on Wednesday as a closely watched gauge of semiconductor companies tumbled. The rout was driven by a slide in Nvidia Corporation of 1.4% and the underwhelming results at Advanced Micro Devices Incorporated. Disappointing revenue guidance from chipmaker AMD sent the stock tumbling 11%, with another semiconductor stock, including Qualcomm, falling. Server maker Supermicro's computer shares sank 33% after the server maker disclosed that Ernst & Young had resigned as its auditor, saying it could no longer rely on management's representations. Meanwhile, Class A shares of Alphabet jumped 2.8% after the Google parent reported strong results bolstered by its cloud division. Reddit and Snap shares rallied after both social media companies reported better than expected revenue. In post-market trading, Meta platform shares edged lower. After the closing bell, shares of Facebook owner Meta Platforms were down 1.5% after it beat analysts' estimates for third quarter revenue and profit, but warned of significant acceleration in infrastructure expenses related to its AI build-out. The stock ended the regular session down 0.2%. Microsoft stock, meanwhile, ticked up after the company reported earnings after the bell. Microsoft rose at its cloud computing business and office software fueled stronger than projected quarterly revenue growth. Apple and Amazon are slated to report earnings on Thursday. In all, about a third of the companies in the S&P 500 are announcing third quarter results this week. Information technology stocks were worst performing sector in the S&P 500, down 1.3%. In other stocks, Visa Incorporated climbed on solid results. eBay Incorporated dropped after projecting holiday season sales that fell short of analysts' estimates. Eli Lilly shares dropped 6.3% after the company reported lower than expected sales of its popular diabetes and anti-obesity drugs. Chipotle Mexican Grill shares declined 0.6% after the chain's quarterly sales growth missed expectations. In economic news, the US economy continued growing last quarter, but at a slower pace than the previous period, according to preliminary gross domestic product figures. Employers added an estimate of 113,000 jobs in October, but analysts noted that the number could be lower due to recent hurricanes in areas including Florida and North Carolina. Meanwhile, payroll data from ADP showed private sector jobs in October grew more than economists expected. During Wednesday's session, the 10-year US Treasury yield ticked down 1 basis point to 4.264%. Signs of a strong economy have lifted the benchmark yield recently as investors have recalibrated expectations for interest rates cuts. Shares of Trump media and technology tumbled 22% after surging in recent days. Front month Brent crude futures rose 2% to $72.55 a barrel. It is currently at $73 a barrel. A weekly report showed US oil stockpiles decreased more than expected, signaling higher demand. US West Texas Intermediate crude rose $1.4 or 2.0% to $68.61 a barrel. European shares fell after regional inflation data came in slightly hotter than expected. The benchmark stocks Europe 600 declined 1.3%. Gold rose to an all-time high as uncertainty after the November 5 US presidential election boosted safe haven demand. Spot gold rose 0.5% to $2,787 per ounce after reaching a record high of $2,789 earlier in the session. Key events this week. On Thursday, we have China manufacturing and non-manufacturing PMI, Bank of Japan rate decision, Eurozone CPI, unemployment, US personal incomes, spending, and PCE inflation data, initial jobless claims, Amazon and Apple earnings. On Friday, China Caixin manufacturing PMI, US employment, and ISI manufacturing. That's it for today, folks. Have a great Halloween today. I will see you tomorrow morning. In the meantime, let us know in the comments section what are your thoughts for the market. Happy investing, stay inspired, and remember, it is all about money.